Hey everyone, Happy New Year. It's Mark Aragon with NM Homies and Realty One. Hope your New Year's going good so far. Hope you're sticking to your resolutions. So far on mine, I'm down about 5 pounds and doing pretty well on everything else. One of the New Year's resolutions this year is to finish remodeling this house that we're in. I'm working in my home office still, and as you can see, there's some stuff that still needs to be taken care of. My office is probably gonna be the last thing that's done. It's kind of a gym and an office put together, kind of just a bonus room. We've still got 2 bathrooms to do and some trim and touch-up work around the rest of the house. Once all that's done, probably come in here, finish a little bit that goes on in here, and then hopefully moving out of this place and into another one, rent this guy out. But that's here nor there. That's kind of my plan. Our goals this year is to keep increasing the rental volume that we have, the amount of rentals, and just kind of keep our business growing. But what that means for me is that I'm in the gross office and Brooke gets to work in the nice, clean, fancy office. Anyways, what we're going to talk about today was 2020 better, worse, the same as 2019? Now, there's a lot of metrics, almost any metric you look at, that says 2020 was a terrible year. We were locked down. We had social unrest. We had a lot of problems across the board. A lot of businesses were not able to operate, and our heart goes out to every one of them. However, our one industry, this is the only thing that I'm a professional in and that I can really talk about. How did that do? So we're going to talk a little bit about the real estate industry in 2020, and then kind of hopefully forecast that a little bit and see what 2021 is going to look like. It's always kind of a crapshoot. We don't have a crystal ball, but we can, for the most part, project and hope and wish and work our butts off to make it happen. So really diving into it, we're going to do a little broad strokes macroeconomics lesson here today. We're going to look at some stuff, 2019 versus 2020. And the main thing we're looking at is change. So if you don't know what that symbol is not a very good one, but when you're looking at stocks or anything like that, what we're really trying to measure when we look at economics, when we look at year over year GDP, stuff like that, what we're looking at is change, total change, and then percent change. And this delta should look like a triangle. That is the symbol for change. So that's what we're going to go over today. And then you also see sometimes delta with like a percent sign going on it. So delta, percent change. So we're going to look at the percent change from 2019 to 2020. So real quick, 2019, we were fully open, economy was fine, interest rates were good, had a low inventory. We've kind of had a low inventory in homes for sale for the last 2 to 3 years, where we've been really on average, we have 3,000 homes for sale, and we're nowhere near that right now. Let's find more listings and get more people selling properties. But in a fully open economy of 2019, we were able to sell 14,421 properties in the greater Albuquerque area, which is, Albuquerque, Rio Rancho, Edgewood, Belen, Los Lunas, just the surrounding areas, even out to Grant sometimes. But for the board and the information that I have, we were able to close on 14,421 transactions. The average sales price for 2019 was $247,194. So about a $250,000 home. And then the average price per square foot, 126.86. So $126 per square foot. For 2020, and again, remember that we're saying that 2020 is one of the worst years in history, or one of the worst years that in personal history that we can remember in recent history, that we were on lockdown, we had a ton of different problems going on. You would anticipate that to be a negative year. We're having a downturn in a lot of industries. However, for Albuquerque, for a lot of markets with friends and other brokers that I know across the country that I'm in communication with, it has not exactly been that. So homes sold in 2019 was 14,421. In 2020, homes sold was 15,336. So that is a change of 915 more homes were sold last year. In the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of lockdowns, where a lot of people, we had a few situations where it was advised not to even leave your house. Even during all of that, almost 1,000 more homes were sold. And the percent of that is it's a 6% increase in homes sold year over year. When we look at average sales price and average price per square foot, both of those went up as well. So for 2020, the average sales price was $272,965, which is a $25,000 increase, $25,771. And for the average sales price for the greater Albuquerque area, it was $139.30, which is a $12.50 increase over 2019. So both of those come out to a 9% change, a 9% increase in home values. Now, are those apples to apples where this is the percent increase? So that means here's how much my home value has appreciated. It's not exactly like that. I would say get with an appraiser and have them look at your property, do a full appraisal. They're about $500 to $600, but you can anticipate that at least your home values are going up. On average, what I generally read is that home values appreciate on an annual basis of about 4%. If we look at this, we can anticipate that it's a little bit higher in the Albuquerque area since we had a 9% increase in sales price year over year. Now, if we look at that on a trend, you're going to see, obviously it's going upwards. I didn't want to get too into the weeds and look at 2018, 2017, 2016, because then I just end up looking at numbers over and over and over again, procrastinate even longer, and then never even put out a video. So I pulled 2018. I don't want to go over the numbers too much, but that was about 13,000 home sales. All the numbers were slightly lower, so it's a trend that's going upwards, which is positive. If you live in the Albuquerque area, if you own a home, be very happy, because what we're anticipating is continued home value increases. Interest rates are still low and inventory is very low. Those are some of the driving factors behind home values going up. Some of the things that we're looking at also is, 915 new sales came on the market. Why was that? Where are these new sales coming from? A lot of them are from out-of-state folks moving into New Mexico. We had an open house this past weekend, and one of the folks that was there was a guy who said, I landed in here from California 2 days ago, need a house to buy, and I'm looking for a home right away. The other day I was emailing with another client that I have. They're in Chicago trying to figure out the best time that they can get down here to start looking at property. So we're getting a lot of transplants that are moving from a little bit larger areas into the Albuquerque area. We have a lot of cool industries coming in, film industry, technology industries, as well as, clean air, awesome mountains, great outdoor stuff. So Albuquerque has a lot of things going for it. And a lot of the reason why I wanted to do this video is that I saw recently an article that a friend posted from KOAT that said that Albuquerque is one of the top 10 areas for real estate right now, one of the growing markets. And just want to back it up with some data. So it looks like, again, where values are going up, sales are going up, but the biggest issue right now for all of us is that the total inventory is down. I think I'd mentioned that on average it's about 3,000 homes on the market for buyers to look at. Right now we're hovering around 1,000 total. So we're about a third of what's normal for our Albuquerque area, our Albuquerque MLS. It's not uncommon. Like I said, I have a lot of forums that I'm involved in, coaching programs, our website programs, where we're just kind of, can't remember the word, think tanks more or less, or just Facebook groups where they're like, hey, here's what our MLS numbers are. And, 2 or 3 of them were about the same. Phoenix area is at a third of what they normally are for available homes for sale. So projecting out to 2021, what does that look like? Are homes values still going to rocket upwards? It's hard to gauge. Looking at some economists and what they're anticipating, these are large organizations. So we've got NAR, National Association of Realtors, Zelman, just another think tank group, and Realtor.com. They're anticipating about a 6% increase in home appreciation for 2021. However, Freddie Mac, CoreLogic, Fannie Mae, MBA, they're anticipating just under a 3% appreciation year over year for 2021. What does that mean? Well, it averages out to about what home value appreciation comes out to of 3.5% to 4% on an annual basis. And that's even more generous than what I generally, would tell folks. I can say, anticipate your home to appreciate by about 2.5% to 3% on a yearly basis. This year, like I said, 9% is pretty incredible. Is it dollars for dollars what your house would happen? It's hard to gauge. Let us work with you directly and see what we can figure out. One other thing that I wanted to touch base on, because I have had quite a few questions about this, is, will the forbearances, will all the homes that have exercised their forbearance that's been allowed by a lot of lenders and the government, will that create just an avalanche of foreclosures in the next 6, 7, 8 months? It's not a crystal ball. It's hard to gauge. I'm not saying yes, it will. Some foreclosures will come out of it just because in general foreclosures happen. It's just a thing. But will the forbearance cause a tsunami of it? I don't believe so. What I'm seeing is that a lot of folks are able to have enough equity built into their property that they can still sell the house, but are not going to have to go through the full foreclosure process. The full foreclosure process is not a fast thing. You have to be delinquent for so many months. You have to prove that you're unable to pay. You're unwilling to come up with a payment plan with your bank. It can take 6, 7, 8 months at a time. I've heard of stories where people were living in a house without making a single payment on it for 2 years. So I don't think it'll cause that avalanche. I do think it could possibly bring more listings to the table since homes are selling at a premium, and because of a lot of the Dodd-Frank and policies that were put in place by Obama, people are able to have a little bit more equity in their house. Just with the appreciation in general, I'm seeing folks who don't need to sell going ahead and selling. I was talking to a lender yesterday who was saying that home values are so high right now that they are seriously debating that if they want to go ahead and sell their property while it's trying to hit that peak and moving into an Airbnb while they kind of wait and see what happens. Some people don't have that luxury, but this is just one of those situations where they're in the industry, they're familiar with what goes on, and mortgage brokers are a little bit like realtors where we're like, I've never been in a house that I've owned that's not for sale or for rent. And again, this is one that as soon as we're done cleaning it up, we're hoping to move out into another property that we can renovate and rent out. Another 2021 goal. We have possibly one that's on the way. So a lot of our goals are out here nebulous and we're trying to track them down. But again, if I'm talking off the cuff, I just can go all over the place. But just talking about forbearances, it doesn't seem like we're going to have the astronomical avalanche of foreclosures that some people are anticipating. I do think more homes will be brought on the market, needing to be sold at a certain price in order for folks to clear their mortgage. But I think there's enough equity and enough growth that they're not going to be, short sales like crazy. I'm not calling banks right now to say, can I get front of the line for your foreclosure, forbearance realtors or anything like that. It's a crapshoot though. We'll see. 2021 is going to be interesting. We have new administration, a lot of new things going on. We have a vaccine out. Interest rates are still low. A lot of folks are kind of recognizing that, I'm able to work from home. I'm able to work from wherever I want, so I don't need to live in these large cities, so I can go ahead and leave. I can live basically wherever I want and telecommunicate. I was talking to one guy who says that he flies to work once a week because that's how often he needs to be in the office, and that's worth it to him, is to fly to work once a week to be at a meeting, work from there, but the other 4 days he's at home working. And you don't have to deal with a commute or anything. So how do things look? They're looking positive. I'm a very positive person, so we'll see how it all shakes out. But best of luck out there. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. I'm optimistic about the future. I hope you are too. If you have 2021 goals that you're trying to get after, give us a shout. We're part of different running groups and fitness groups. So if you're like, I want to lose weight, jump into one of our groups, and we're always doing running challenges and workout challenges every month. We're always trying to be as engaging as we can while, social distancing. We're still in a situation where, we can't throw mixers and have a blast, but we can tag each other in our running posts or tag each other in our workout posts. So whatever your goals are, especially if they're real estate related, we're more than happy to help out. We're really just trying to foster a community of positivity during everything that's going on. So hope for the best, plan, decide, communicate, do everything you need to do. If you have any questions, reach out to us, DM us, follow us on social media, YouTube, everything. Sorry if this is a long video.